Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to today's episode of Tea Time with Tayea. Oh my gosh, guys, it's literally already episode 5. What? A bit insane, I know. But, today's episode actually isn't what it was supposed to be. I will be releasing, something more personal and, silly gooberness. I'm trying to think of a good title for it right now, but yeah, I'm sure it'll all come together when you eventually come to see this video. Originally, this video was supposed to be about, my continuing, me continuing progression in, my podcast and how I would be, making adjustments and stuff, saying a bunch of, PSAs and stuff, but, I don't really want to. For those of you who haven't seen or found out, a lot of stuff has come up recently in life, and with that, complications and stuff. My friends are always, and I mean always, joking. Especially Remember the Mountains. He has a saying that my entire life, for those of you who are well acquainted, relatively at least, with the Spider-Verse and how each Spider-Man has a canon event that turned them into Spider-Man. Remember the Mountains says that my entire life is a canon event because a bunch of people around me are just so convinced that my life sucks so bad, it's booty cheeks, and they're just your life is so bad that it has to be a canon event. There's no way that your life actually just naturally sucks this bad. And a bunch of my friends are always telling me stuff when are you gonna start your villain arc? Where's the character development? They're like, you don't need any more character development. Why do they keep giving you more? Which I think is so funny, by the way. I really hope that my friends never stop joking about that kind of stuff because it's so funny. I love my friends. I really do. Also, I realized that I kind of didn't do my usual intro, which I apologize for, but with this almost 3 minutes and a half worth of intro, let's get into today's episode of Tea Time with Tayea, which would be, would be Tayea's, a teenage, I don't know how, like I said, I'm trying to figure out a good title for this, but however way I choose to put it in the title, this is a teenage girl, or Tayea's personal guide to recovering and getting through a bad day, because clearly I have a lot of those. My mother has always said that my resilience was something that I must have gotten from my grandmother, which I love that, by the way. I love my Grammy, my mom. Another canon event that she is gone, guys. Okay, I'm not gonna joke about my grandma's death, but I love my grandma, and I'm happy that my family sees my grandma in me. That's very wholesome, and I love it. But anyway, let's kind of set the scene. Let's get a little intro going here. Well, obviously, I just finished doing my intro. Basically, hello, my listeners, and I hope that you enjoy today's very chaotic, unorganized, very raw kind of episode. I'm just gonna be yapping for half an hour because once again I feel like I owe you guys for kind of ditching you and I didn't ditch you this time, but it is a later schedule than I usually do, so I'm sorry. Here's your 30-minute video. Anyway, also, just because I would like to make a quick discussion that just because there are times I will, like, now I'm doing like half-hour videos, that doesn't mean I'm always gonna do them. But who knows? I don't know. I'm a Yaposaurus Rex. I like yapping, so who knows? I might. But either way, let's continue. Please, I hope you're sitting down right now, or going to sleep. In whatever. I hope you're comfortable in whatever state you are listening to this episode in. Okay. Have your drink of choice in hand, whether it be something warm, something cozy, or something more cold and like, I'm awake kind of thing, I don't judge. Just because this podcast is called Tea Time with Tayea doesn't necessarily mean you have to be listening to each episode with tea in hand, okay? Minor mentioning, okay? But now that I've yapped about something completely irrelevant and gotten like all the jitters and stuff or whatever out of like that very crappy intro, which I'm sorry for, let's like I said, let's get into setting the scene for what will start this guide. So I think the best thing to do first would be to consider what like a bad day kind of feels like. Okay, like it can involve around stress, exhaustion, or like a sense that everything is just like going wrong all at once, like back to back to back to back things going wrong, which for me is kind of it's kind of how it feels like when it feels like the world is toppling over me. Like I just want to crash out. And Remember the Mountains always makes fun of me for like getting upset or like quote unquote crashing out for small things, but like to me they're not small. But I don't know, he's Remember the Mountains, so obviously he's got a couple screws loose. But either way, to me, I feel like a lot of my bad days start off with a bad mood implanted into them. You see, mental health is like a huge thing within my family. Like, it's genetics. Like, I got a bunch of cray people in my family. Like, it's just genetically engineered. It's like, it's in our DNA to be a little insane. If not, then you might want to consider who is the father of your baby. Please, that's a joke. That's a joke. Anyway, so because of that, like seeing real sane people, it's actually very uncommon to see it, generally speaking, considering like the kind of people not only that I live around, but the people that like are involved within my like environment or whatever. My everyday just living, laughing, and loving day-to-day environment. A lot of people are crash outs just like me. Like, they stress, and there's a saying that everybody has their own issues, so be kind because you never know what someone's going through, yada yada yada. So because there is always this kind of overlooming sense of, well, motherfucker's crazy, meow 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 meow, I feel like there's kind of an expectation, or like something I've grown used to, at least. Like from the moment I wake up, whether because like I go back and forth between my homes. So sometimes when I wake up with my mom, she'll like, our cat's meowing and I'm getting overstimulated. Like, you need to let me defrost before you start trying to talk to me. Like, this also hit me like just tonight because I don't know how it hit me, but basically I remember as a child I would always like get upset when I was woken up to the sound of like laughter or noise. And it's not that, and I'm now realizing that I don't think it was because I was mad that they were happy without me or whatever, although I do think that was a personal insecurity thing. I think it had a lot to do with how, like, you didn't even give me any time to do anything. Like, I was just trying to rest and you interrupted it. So like haphazardly. It's like it felt like you didn't care about whether or not I was asleep or not, and that, hurt my feelings or whatever, yada yada yada. Anyway, I whenever I was a child and I would wake up to the sound of noise, I would get all cranky and stuff, and I would get in a bad mood. Personally, I actually think I still have that trait. But I hope, pray tell, that I have gotten better at masking it. I'm kind of an open book. I suck, and I mean suck, at trying to hide how I really feel. Like, you can see it on my face. You can see it in how I speak. I am very open with how I express myself. And that's also another reason that I have this podcast, because eventually you just need to stop, letting things bubble up within you and just, sit there. And that's, this, I've come to realize that. So, podcast. Anyway, like I said, because there are, kind of, mentally ill people, surrounding me all the time, it doesn't, truly hit me sometimes. Anyways, like I said, getting back on track, I feel like we just, kind of, I'm terrible at transitions, by the way, and I just got, this terrible mood swing. I have terrible mood swings, by the way. Call it because of the hormones, because I'm a girl. Oh, it's that time of month, yada, 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 whatever, utterly sexist thing you want to say. I don't really care. I have terrible mood swings. Sometimes I'll just be thinking and it'll put me in a bad mood, and I think that's just such a bad trait I have personally. Anyway, now I can't even remember what I'm talking about. See, guys, this kind of stuff, it's very minor stuff that sets me off. Big, terrible, genuinely horrendous things that you could do to a person. Yeah, no, that's not really hitting me, but the small stuff is what genuinely upsets me. It's this whole word vomit kind of thing, and it's just, ugh, I can't, guys. I love and hate having a podcast, but let's get back on track to setting the scene for a bad day. Like I said, for me personally, at least, it involves a lot of mood and the people I surround myself with and how they're acting around me and stuff, and how what circumstances. It's all circumstance, honestly. I could be in a perfectly good mood, and then one small inconvenience totally tampers and blows up my day. Terrible trait to have, but it's just, it's there. So I so let's this let me describe. Allow me to describe my like what a bad day, hypothetically speaking, would be like for me. So let's say it's a day that I'm waking up with in my mother's household, because like I said earlier, I switch between homes. Either I wake up in my grandparents' home, or I wake up at my mom's. So let's just imagine this scenario thing through a day where I would be sleeping with my mom. Not sleeping with my mom. No. Oh my god. Also, it's really late at night, so I'm sorry if I'm yawning and stuff. And this rambling will probably make zero sense. I'm not even gonna edit it. It's gonna be so genuinely raw, and I'm sorry that I'm making you raw dog this audio, but I'm just so tired and I cannot bear to edit this thing. I will literally blow up. I will combust. All of my guts will be everywhere. It's gross. It's just so insanely bad. I'm not doing it. And I still have to eat dinner, and I still have to like take out my contacts and take decent care of my teeth because I have an appointment in like another week, for while not having an appointment for like the past 6 months, which is not what you're supposed to do when you have braces. But my family's poor, so anyways, now that I low-key dumped that on you, let's go back to the topic at hand. So in the average bad day at my mom's house, I wake up probably late. Let's start off describing, like, because I feel like today started off bad too. Like, I made it a good day because I'm me, but it started off bad. Like, I literally have, like, video proof of me sobbing and, like, going through genuine, like, I don't want to say anything about sewer slide because that but like the mental illness does get me to that point of wanting sewer slide. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Just like I said, don't watch around the kids. Like, get into very deep stuff. Okay, I'm human. That kind of comes with it. Anyway, once again, continuing. Basically, let's describe how today started off for me, and because it was a bad start. I woke up. My alarm went off. I was like half asleep. I groggily like get up from bed. I walk to the bathroom where my phone is charging, and I basically walk in on my sister showering, and she was just like getting out of the shower, and she was like about to shut the door on me, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I waited for her to like cover herself up and then get out of the bathroom, and I'm like, okay. I go, oh, I'm sorry. Kind of, yeah. She comes out of the bathroom, and I go in so I can go like turn my phone off because I can't stand my alarm. I'm sorry, but no. Honestly, I think any alarm, like, no one can stand their alarm. And if you do like it, you're gonna ruin that song for you. That song or whatever choice you picked, you're gonna, by a certain point and using it, you're just gonna be done with it, and it's not okay. But anyway, I turn it off and then I sleep for an extra like 30 minutes. My mom eventually tries to wake me up, and it's like 7:30, and because my class starts at 8 o'clock. I didn't go to school, by the way, today, because I'm a bum and I'm mentally unwell, and someone needs to put me in a psychiatric hospital, okay? Basically, she was like, come on, Tay, you need to get up. I forgot what she said, because, like, things that make me genuinely upset, I try to forget them. My brain's got, like, I can't remember what it was called. Dissociative amnesia, I think? I don't remember. It's basically a thing where, like, you forget stuff that, like, upsets you, it's traumatizing, yada, yada, yada. So I have, like, terrible memory when it comes to, like, things that have upset me. Like, it's the end of the day. My mom said something, like, I don't remember kind of some of the stuff and how I was feeling this morning because I was so upset this morning, if that makes sense. Anyway, either way, basically she was like yapping. She was like, you need to get up, you gotta go to school. Also, my mom has this tendency of, like, because my school, if you're like the kid's not in class, the school will like has like this messaging system where it'll text your parent and tell them that you're not in class or you're not at school, and then like they kind of have to vouch for you and be like, yo, why is it your kid in school? And for me, I have free will, and I just sometimes do not want to go to school. So, but on the days where I choose to have free will and I incorporate that into my day and I just don't go to school because I don't want to, she makes it a point to mention that, that like this that school keeps texting her, and I think in her own way that's her passive aggressive like go to for trying to be like, you need to be in school. I actually don't enjoy being here with you because you should be in school, and you're ruining things for me because you need to be in school, and your family's blaming me for not taking you to school, which, by the way, my family, That's a story for another day, guys. But basically, she's like going on and on about this, and then she's on the call with people and telling people this, and then like my auntie was like yapping about how I need to be in school and how like school isn't even that hard, because when you go to the real world and you have to be an adult and go to work every day, it's like that's like 10 times worse apparently. Which, by the way, I've worked before. Maybe not like fast food or anything or retail, but you know what? It was a decent job. And it was like during like breaks, so I would have to go every day. And even though I was tired or whatever, by the end, at least I had money. You don't see me getting paid to go to school. And at least by the end of it, I all I had to do was just chill out for the rest of the day. Like, I don't have to worry about homework or anything. Everything's handled over, like, everything you do for work is handled at work. There's nothing, unless, like, you have an occupation involving you need to take, like, do homework. Like, work at home. But, like, no. For, like, the kind of jobs that would hire me, I wouldn't need to do any of that. Everything's handled on shift, on site. And I can't, guys. I can't do it. So that started off bad. And then she was like, ugh, meow, 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 meow. Basically degrading my pain, as my family does. Basically, yada, 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 meow, 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 meow. One thing leads to another. I obviously have a mental breakdown and film like 2 videos. I think I have like 4 minutes worth of Snapchat video where I'm just like sobbing and like seriously considering why I bothered to get up that morning. By the end of it, my mom, after like staying outside, doing God knows what for like 10-20 minutes, she finally decides she's gonna come back inside. I'm sitting in my closet, locked in my closet, because I'm not sitting out there when you're just like openly being a bad person and like saying stuff directly to my face. Well, like, I obviously would rather you do say it to my face, but like, come on, man, that's just mean, okay? Anyway, I don't know, I just like totally spaced out. But to continue, I guess, keep in mind, this is just like the beginning of the morning. Like, after this, she decides she's gonna be good cop, and we go over to Applebee's and we eat, and then like I'm trying to like obviously make small talk and make a good like a bad day a slightly okayish day by like making small talk and getting her in a good mood and slang. She didn't really yap in the like ride over to Applebee's. And then when we get to Applebee's, she finally starts to lighten up, and then I obviously get hit with one of my terrible mood swings, making me incredibly apathetic and depressed as one as one as one is, okay? We come back from the Applebee's, we pick up my sister, we run our errands, yada yada yada. And there's so much that goes on like between then and now, but you know, that is like a morning like that, a morning where I'm just trying to exist and I'm actively I actively feel attacked, whether it's like physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever. Then that is what starts off a bad day for me. And then another way it could start is hypothetically, if I was like with my grandparents. You see, my grandmother has this like really bad, like, call it a habit if you want, but she has this tendency to like make really snide comments when like very backhanded like compliments, and like just like she claims to be a changed person from a very mean, wicked person, but she will actively do like but then passively is just like saying stuff like, oh, you've gained weight and stuff, when like yapping to you, and you're just like, whoa, like, Jesus. I don't know, guys. But anyway, stuff like that, small details, small comments or insults or things first sting. Like I can't even like rub the sleep out of my eye and I'm being attacked. Insane stuff, by the way. Like stuff like that, it builds up on me. If this were on a school day, which keep in mind I didn't go to school today. If it were on a school day and then I had to go to class and deal with stuff like missing homework and yada yada yada, I would actually have an aneurysm. I would no. No. It all starts okay until I feel like other people make it feel not like the opposite. And then like my mood swings play into that, and then it creates the feeling of a bad day. And then it's so difficult to get out of it. Like, guys, you can't do this to me. Leave me alone. I'm just a girl. Anyway, and another thing that makes a bad day is like exhaustion, and like I mentioned, stress, like from stuff like homework and schoolwork and missing stuff. And yeah, let's get into exhaustion first. So I have like health conditions and stuff, and like I'm tired after school, because like we walk thousands of steps every day. I have hip flexor tendonitis. My hip hurts. Like the hip that has tendonitis hurts after I get done from walking all that. And then like my family is the type of family that doesn't believe, like, well, part of my family doesn't believe that young children can be unhealthy like that unless something's like really wrong with them, yada yada yada. There's just so much double standards. It's insane. If I really went into it, this thing would last hours, but we're gonna try and keep it to an okay length. This is actually coming out very long compared to what I thought it would be, but you know, the more content for you guys, I guess. Anyway, stuff like that is so hard to deal with, like, ugh. And then like I don't take good care of myself at all. Like sometimes like I don't eat or drink the right things, and I don't get enough sleep, and I don't wash myself sometimes. Like I'm just too tired to wash myself, like things like my face. And when I start getting breakouts and stuff like that, like I feel ugly, and that furthers the feeling of not wanting to do it. Like feeling self-conscious like isn't enough to like motivate me to do it. And you know, whatever. Anyway, and then another attribute is stress. There's so much I stress about. I could go on forever. There's stuff like school, family, friends, like the high school drama. I don't know what it is, but it's always there. It's always there, and I have to listen to it and let it exist around me because it's not like it's going away anytime soon. People don't just let go of grudges and stuff like just like that. They just like they hold on to it. They let it grow within them and define their opinion on like the people it involves, you know? Terrible thing, by the way. No. And like I worry about my family members. I worry about whether or not my family gets to school or work on time. If like, because there are just so, like I said, so many attributes that go into it. If I really went into my genuine personal life, I'm pretty sure many people would actually want to stop talking to me. It's like not okay. And then also considering like like schoolwork at the end of the day, because like I'm not exactly the most productive student, and by that I mean like I suck. Like I'm very lazy. I blame it on the depression, but you know, I'm sure there are other depressed people who don't let their depression get in the way of doing chores or homework and stuff. And you know, once again, just invalidating myself, you know, as one does. So it's kind of stuff like that personally, or I feel like generally speaking, can create a bad day. You know, that I kind of went into way more detail than that probably needed, but um I'm happy you listen nonetheless. That's kind of setting the scene for what would create a situation involving a bad day for me. It all has to do with those small details and minor inconsistencies and, my own feelings, because like I said, I'm not a very emotionally stable person. I don't always feel the same way all the time. Oh, I wish I could though. But a bunch of things can like make someone's worst day ever. There's so many things. Like that was just an example of what like happened particularly today. Like that was like my day pretty much. But anyway, with that being said, now that I've established what a bad day or whatever means to me, or if it's like your meaning of a bad day is similar to that in any way, shape, or form, this is my little health kit to help you get through it. Like, just in case you have a terrible, no good, brain melting, like, absolutely gut wrenching, like, mind blowing, you're gonna combust into sparkles kind of day, I'm here to offer my silly little survival guide. Insane how this thing is already half an hour, by the way. There are a couple of, steps to get into, but I think a good way to start would be step one, allowing yourself to sulk or like feel bad, like feel your feelings. Like today, when I after I was like when I felt hurt, I went away into a spot where I can be at peace and not be confronted or attacked or yelled at, having to face them. Thank God. Hallelujah for the lock on my door. My closet door, that is. That like not being able to visually see them, to me at least, is a very like, whoa. It's like I'm safe. Like it offers a feeling of comfort to me personally. Security, if you will. And for like the time that she was still outside before we went to Applebee's, I just spent my time sulking. And obviously I spent my time like doing things to kind of get my mind off of it, to not take it personally. Because if I think and like linger on things too long, it causes more suicidal thoughts. It's always such a terrible thing. Sometimes I even act out and attempt or whatever. Who said that? Not me. Anyway, there have been multiple times where I thought I was literally gonna blow up from like a bad day, but somehow I haven't. I think I'm qualified in that little bit. So with this stage, I feel like it's a stage where you need to like acknowledge that you can be, or like maybe you feel you just need to feel bad for a little bit. Of course, not saying you should feel bad all the time, but I'm trying to say that you need to like, it depends, of course. I'm sure it varies based on the person. Some people just want to immediately be out of like the bad mood or the sadness or whatever, the anger, the frustration immediately, or some people will allow them. Like I said, this varies, but this is my personal guide. Like I said, this is my podcast. This is my guide to surviving a bad day. Anyway, allowing yourself to like just feel everything and like get through it maybe have like, maybe just like watch watch YouTube or something. I watch those silly Gacha Life reaction videos, or I go on Cookie Run Kingdom because I like playing that game. Don't ever. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I was gonna make a funny Remember the Mountains reference, but I'm too tired to think of anything clever. So, I don't know. Anyway, during this, like I said, first stage, you just let yourself sulk and feel everything. Maybe watch something to distract yourself, or do something to distract yourself. Read a book, watch a movie, play with your cat. Just be sad and do that thing. Like, for me, it's locking myself in my closet watching Gacha Life reaction videos. Maybe eating, sometimes eating. I feel like stress eating can be a good thing. Don't overindulge though. I do that very often, and I get very full, and I blow up, and I'm like the feeling hasn't gone away, so I keep eating, and it's this whole thing, yada yada yada. Anyways, whatever. Continuing, obviously, as one does. The next step, I believe at least, would be like once again involving things of comfort, but instead of involving like a comforting activity to like distract you, not really distract yourself from your feelings, but like feel those feelings while trying to feel better in a way, if that makes sense. Anyway, step 2 obviously involves like things of comfort involving food or drinks or something you will consume that is edible, I hope. Like for me, I really like a lot of very soulful kind of foods. I actually can't handle my spice very well, but things that involve like things that remind me of home literally bring me to tears. Things that are warm, like cozy even, make me feel very at home and like curling up in a ball and just being like, okay, I'm not gonna blow up. It's like a lot of there are a lot of foods I can think of, honestly. Just to name one, mashed potatoes. I really like mashed potatoes, actually. I'm trying to think of comfort foods, but I can't even think of anything. Like soup. Soup is a comfort food for me. Very warm, inviting. Gumbo. I love gumbo. Macaroni pie. Some sweet stuff. Watermelon. Also, Remember the Mountains. Don't stereotype me, because I know that you're going to be like, oh, well, it's because you're black. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not over here yelling about how you're going to clock my tea because you're not clocking nothing. This is my show. Quit being indirectly racist. You need to leave. Anyway, that is a joke, by the way. I'm tired, so I'm sorry if it didn't sound very, like, joking. Like, getting sleepier and sleepier by the second, guys. With that being said, though, there are a lot of things. Like, I really love I like egg salad too. Fruit salad is really good. Oh, and you know, I love having Dr. Pepper when I'm upset. I love it. I need Dr. Pepper injected into my veins at this point. Like, it's not only just a really good drink, but like I'm call me a Dr. Pepper addict at this point. Like, that's the only justification I really got here, okay? Because I love Dr. Pepper. Whenever I'm feeling down and out, Dr. Pepper. What's my go-to drink for most of the things I get from fast food restaurants? Dr. Pepper. What am I going to refill my random cup up with, even if it was a different drink? Dr. Pepper, okay? Like, I'm sorry, that's a given. That's a given. And, like, obviously, when I'm sad, personally, I don't want to cook anything. Also, my platonic wife would never let me cook. Like, she actually thinks I'm gonna burn the house down. Like, she'd think I'd burn a house down, our hypothetical house down, if I tried to cook. So I'm not allowed to, at least in her kitchen. But like, I'm allowed to help or whatever. I'm allowed to bake. Baking is my thing, but cooking is hers. So, unfortunately speaking, I am not allowed to cook. So ordering it. And not only that, when I'm sad, I don't want to do anything. I just want to mope around and be sad. But, like, ordering takeout is on the list, okay? It's there. It's there. And then also sometimes there are times, obviously, when I just can't bring myself to, like, make those comfort foods and stuff. Sometimes even a cold... No, actually, I don't even like super cold drinks or anything. I actually don't like them very much. But, like, good Dr. Pepper, like a nice, crispy, delicious, uncarbonated Dr. Pepper can. Like, if sometimes they're just easier than, like, making food and stuff, or, like, ordering out, because my family's poor and I can't cook very well because I'm not gonna say that, but either way, anyway, I can't, guys. Like, a bad day isn't complete without, like, getting some kind of comfort food up in me. And I also have a belief that that's my mother's way of apologizing for kind of being a dick to me sometimes. Like, notice how after she was basically like, oh, well, you're stinky, you're a fat fuck, meow, 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 meow. I can't believe you're not going to school. You're going to get kicked out. Meow, 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 meow. I hope you get sent away. By the way, there are some things in there she didn't actually say. I'm just adding it in because I feel that's my own self-loathing, okay? So some of that wasn't her. Don't come for my mom in the comments, please. But anyway, sometimes it's just easier to to just have something small or whatever. Like, it all depends on the level of sad, but a cold Dr. Pepper is easy and it's effective, relatively. Like, just knowing I have it is a good thing in itself. And excuse me. Anyways, step 3 would be obviously like the comforting stuff, like going back to the comforting activities, like a brain cleanse to start anew, to put you in a better mood, to not reflect on how you feel, but rather, like, live with it, with that comfort food. Because before, we were just, like, living with that feeling, and we were just kind of feeling it while we were being silly or doing whatever activity we were. But with step 3, you're trying to, like, cleanse your brain of it and, like, be rid of it. Like, there's like sometimes when, like, I have a terrible habit of, like, getting caught in watching YouTube shorts, or sometimes literally a lot of it is just YouTube shorts. I'll be real. YouTube shorts and gotcha life reaction videos. I have a problem. Don't get mad at me. Anyway, there are comfort channels that I have as well, like YouTubers and streamers and stuff who for a lot of people, help people when they're low, and that's kind of how it is for me. I don't think I have a particular like YouTube channel or TV or anything. I like TV show or movie or whatever I watch when I'm in a bad mood. I don't think, at least. If anything, like I said, it's for me. It's like playing my silly goober games or watching Gotcha Life videos because I have a problem. And then particularly, I would like honorable mention to music though, things like Spotify and stuff. Um, when I'm angry, I really want to listen to very aggressive, I'm gonna strangle you kind of music. And when I'm sad, I just want to wallow in my miserable existence with like Mitski or something. Like honorable mention to like music, because that's a great outlet as well to me. Spiraling further might just be what I need while I eat random stuff. And then happy songs only really work when it's like a particular happy song. Sometimes, because like if I was like depressed about like the meaning of life or something, a song like because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like the room is on the roof. Please don't copyright me, by the way. If like a song like that started playing, I would like be like, oh my gosh, you can't read the room. So I'd start laughing, but then I'd be like, oh, okay, I don't really like the song. But if it's a really good song, like it's soulful and stuff, I can't think of one of those right now, by the way. So I can't give an example, but if it's something like that, then yeah, I'm down for that too. So sometimes they'll stat me out naturally, but I'm not gonna force myself to get out of the mood. No, no, no. But like either way, um, continuing. Next step after wallowing in my own self pity and loathing, would probably be like self-care, like taking care of yourself after that, fixing things like aspects or whatever of your life or your appearance, or just making small tweaks in the moment to like help yourself like kind of feel better. I did like let me name exactly what I did to kind of do that for today. After my mom was like, let's go to Applebee's, she was like, hey, let's after I get ready, we can go. And she was like on the phone and stuff. And she was in the bathroom and I needed to do my hair. So I was like fixing up my hair. I got a little bit of makeup on after I went to the bathroom because she finished her makeup, and she continued yapping in another room. Like she left again to go yap in the other room. And I went into the bathroom and I used the bathroom. After I finished, I got some makeup on, and once I realized that I didn't hate the way I looked that day, things felt a little lighter. So, but of course, this can happen for many people in many different kind of ways. Like long showers or doing skincare, or maybe putting on a very soft, comfy kind of clothes, all right? These are all some good examples of things I do. I don't know. Thinking about it, I don't particularly think I take showers after having a sobbing session. Like maybe I'll like wash my face or something. I don't really know, but I actually think I'm a rather pretty crier, so I think it makes my complexion look good. Like puffy in a cute way, not in like the red I'm going to blow up, I look like a Texan kind of way. Like I literally, ugh. Sometimes I make myself want to throw up, and it's ew. Anyway, doing stuff like skincare is good, and I don't know where I'm getting these examples, by the way. They're just like coming out of nowhere. But these are not personal things that I would do. I'll be honest. Putting on comfy clothes, maybe. When I'm in a bad mood, though, I just like I don't even know what I do. I'm terrible at coping. Never trust my coping methods. Why are you watching this video? No, I'm kidding, but I hope it's helping somewhat. Those are just some examples. I don't personally do them all the time. Sometimes I'll put on the comfy clothes, but I will almost never do skincare or take a long shower after I'm done sobbing. Believe it or not, it's crazy, I know. But some people also have like a routine, a particular routine they do after doing this kind of thing, like as in like recovering emotionally. Some people like have a routine for like doing that. They have proper coping mechanisms and whatnot. Like maybe after crying about a certain thing, you like paint your nails or do silly face masks and stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I think, like I said, personally for me, my favorite I think now that I'm like putting a little more thought into it, one of my more like personal favorite things to do after I'm done being upset is, as I previously mentioned, making myself look pretty. Because you know what? If I'm pretty, does anything else matter? Does the fact that I'm a disappointment matter? Does the fact that I have terrible grades and am being shipped off to the military relatively soon, and that is the fate I will probably face for the rest of my life because I'm good at almost nothing else, like, all of that fades away because I'm pretty. I'm relatively considered conventionally attractive or whatever. And of course, there are some times where I want to chop off my limbs, and I'll probably look better like that, but sometimes it just feels nice to make yourself look nice. There's the saying that, I don't even know what the saying is, but basically, like, how you put yourself together kind of reflects, like, how you feel and stuff, or if that makes sense. I don't know. But, I don't know. For me personally, I think there's, like, something about doing that, like, looking nice and feeling nice, smelling nice, etc., that just kind of makes me feel like I have control over my life again. Like, at least I can look and feel pretty, at the very least, if nothing else. And then, step 5, I kind of feel like this goes in with, like, number 3, but once again, distraction, or like, maybe better way of putting it, it's like recharging, actually. Like, doing those fun hobbies, but doing it in a way that you're not thinking about the stuff anymore, to, like, just get over it or whatever, Like, do you, like, drawing or gaming or crocheting, sleeping or talking to a specific person who is, like, makes things feel better for you, or, personally, I actually, like, don't cope ever. This is my method of just, like, I just, like, lay down and curl up into a ball. I go into the fetal position and I just, like, call it good. I grow into the fetal position. I let it out silently because I've been told I'm an ugly crier. I can't really talk to anyone. I don't trust anyone like that to, like, tell them of my woes. Makes me feel bad too. So usually I don't yap, or the hobby thing usually like happens like within the first 3 steps or so for me. So doing that doesn't really apply to me personally. I feel like it more involves not getting sleep, but, like, yeah, getting sleep. Like, when I'm like feeling my feelings and I'm like feeling a sense of grotesque, like, utter, ugh, I don't even know how to put it. Describing things in a good way, or poetically so, it's not my strong suit, but just letting myself feel the way I do and, like, curling up into a ball, fetal position, or sleeping right after that kind of thing, or like resting my eyes and then conveniently falling asleep. That works well enough for me, at least. Personally, that's just how I kind of cope. You know, if that doesn't work, usually I go back to distracting myself with like random videos, but usually I'll go to like a brain rot, endless scrolling, doom scrolling kind of app like TikTok for that. So like I'll not indefinitely, but like I'll certainly like have the outcome that I want, which is to be distracted long enough to like recover enough emotionally to when I think back on it, I'm just like, I'm not even really that upset anymore. Which, you know. But yeah, no. Anyway, with that being said, we're close to almost an hour, guys. So insane. I think this is where I'm going to offer my final words of wisdom, okay? Like, what I want you to take away from this video is like, bad days happen. And throughout my millions of bad days, because as you guys or like my friends like to so keenly joke about, they happen, and they can happen a lot, like often. They could happen every day for like, as far as like, I don't know, as far as someone's luck goes, it can happen every day, but like they don't last forever. It may feel like they will, and that you'll never be the same or whatever, but that's not the case. And in like a state of panic like that, just kind of find what makes your brain recover. Like personalize what you would do. I'm not like it's not like I'm like telling you this so you can like definitely do it like me. I'm telling you this so you can try and like find a method that would work for you, so you can keep going, so you can keep having the kind of mindset that will get you through a bad day. And even if this video didn't help like at all, if all else fails, just sleep. Okay, like in the end scheme of things, future you, or like the you that will later awaken, can deal with it. Okay, all right. Anyway, if you want to steal some of these ideas from me, because they're all original and they're all my ideas, and yeah, no, I'm kidding. Either way, I hope that my little, well, not even little, it's like a 1 hour rant. It's 4 times my usual amount. Hope you like this little package, by the way. Now that I've ranted for this long hour, I hope you found today's episode a little more relatable and not completely useless, by the way. I hope these tips kind of helped and that you can find use in them yourself. I can't think of anything else really, so I think this is my little ending part where I'm supposed to be like, okay, it's time to go. I gotta go to sleep and stuff, and yeah. Anyways, with all said and done, I hope that you got to enjoy my silly little rant about how to recover from a bad day. And I hope my advice helped you somewhat, by the way. If you ever have a bad day, know that I'm super proud of you for living through it. And even if you feel like you won't, I'm sure you will. And I'm not going to get into the possibility that you won't, because I'll literally combust. With that being said, that's all. I love you guys. Bye.